I'm excited to be able to welcome on one of the most underrated guys in the class of 2022. What's going on today, bro?
Everything's doing well. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Well, you're in this 2022 class, going through a little bit of an odd year, obviously, with everything going on as everyone is. But how are you handling this? How's the recruiting looking like for you right now?
Recruitment's been going well so far, especially with now that coaches can reach out. So that's really important. And well, it hasn't really taken a hit on me yet because I have like a court in my backyard, a weight room, so I'm able to get my reps in still. So yeah, hopefully I come out of this looking pretty good.
Absolutely. And as you said, you are in 2022, which means it's been a couple of weeks now that coach start calling you. What's it been like? How's it been starting talking to coaches?
I mean, it's kind of crazy, honestly. Like you're talking to like colleges now, and
Hmm.
it seems like yesterday I was just starting high school, so it's actually really crazy. But seeing a lot of coaches reaching out to me lets me know like that the work I'm doing is actually going towards something. So it's been fun.
Let's talk about some offers you have right now. One is LMU, which is a school that is really starting to pull up a lot of traction. Everyone's been asking, when's that school in California going to come that decided to start really wanting to recruit California kids? LMU, they obviously have a new coaching staff and they're doing that now. What's it like? How attracting and appealing is LMU to you right now?
LMU is very attractive to me right now. The coaching staff is really good. They've been calling me a lot, and they're looking really good to me right now.
And to see a school that is, like I said, starting to pick in and start really try going after a lot of California kids, how much more appealing is that to you? How much cooler is this being able to see guys that you know, just guys growing up in California, also could potentially looking at LMU?
It would be great to go there with a few of them, especially since guys I've known for a while. It'd be really fun.
No doubt. And you have a couple other offers. Just what do you like with all those schools? Just what's your interest in those schools as well?
Well, my brother currently goes to Rice, and he
Okay.
seems to really like it. I've been there a few times, been around campus, been to a few games, and it's really nice. Cal Poly, they've been reaching out to me a lot too. I like Cal Poly as well. Yeah, yeah. So
And when you have a family guy that actually goes to that program, you see it. What does that kind of bring to you? How does that kind of help you throughout your recruiting process when you see a brother or a sibling even just be able to go through the same process, especially a school that you're also considering?
I mean, it basically it's honestly really helpful because like
Mhm.
I know he's not going to be biased, and so like how he says it is, that's how it's actually going to be. So that's it's really helpful.
And just for the overall recruitment process, he obviously had to go through that as well. What's some of the biggest tips he's now helped you with as you get ready for your journey now?
Um, he honestly he says just to enjoy it. Really, it's soon as going to be over, and just enjoy it. Really.
And those are four schools that have offered you so far. A lot of schools I can imagine are starting to show a lot of interest in you. Who are some of the schools that you say are showing the most interest in you at this point, though?
Right now, the most interest in me right now are Yale, Colorado, USD, UCSD, Columbia, Rice, Cal Poly, Furman, Cal, St. Mary's, Pepperdine, Stanford, LMU, and Santa Clara. Those are the schools that have reached out.
A lot of schools obviously are in the California area. For you, when it comes time in a couple of years to start really looking at this seriously, what is staying close to home or is staying in California or staying near California have any kind of impact on you?
I mean, I I think so. I'm always going to give like the West Coast schools a few brownie points. So
Mhm.
because especially since I'm from the area, I know the area. I'm obviously going to have a more chance to see a few games. So but I like to keep my recruitment open everywhere in the country. So yeah.
And you're going to be a guy that's going to pull in a lot more offers throughout the next couple of years. You are a top 100 kind of guy already. What are you looking forward to being able to pull in schools, as you just said, from all over the country soon?
I mean, honestly, just being able to just turn on the TV and be like, wow, that school's recruiting me. Being able to be like, wow, I could be there. I could be in that game right now. I'm really
Mhm.
looking forward to that.
And those schools that we have talked about that have already extended the offer, the school that's been with you since pretty much the beginning now, when it comes time to make your decision in a few years, how much likely is it going to be that they're probably going to be in that discussion just because of the fact that they kind of were loyal to you, they have been there since the beginning?
It's going to be very likely they're going to be in that discussion, especially since they've been rocking with me for a while now, and it's going to be very important.
That's awesome. And let's talk about some of the schools you have mentioned. One of them I like to talk about is Stanford. They're a school that they've always been a solid school. Obviously, they're in a Power Five, they're in the Pac-12, but not until this past year they landed this kind of star talent. We see obviously Zaire went there, a top five kind of caliber player. Esau follows him a couple of days later. You see top guys in the country, but also in your own state go there. How much more appealing does that make Stanford?
Makes them really appealing because those guys must have saw something because I haven't been on any visits yet. So the guys there must have saw something that I was like, wow, I want to go to this school. So it's really appealing.
And for you personally, when you look at all these conferences, obviously you have some schools that are Power Five, high majors, mid majors, low majors. Is whatever kind of conference, or if it is, what kind of major it is, does that have any impact on your recruitment?
It really doesn't to me. It's honestly just what I'm the best fit for me. So it doesn't matter if it's high major, low major, mid major. It's just the best fit, really.
You also did say Yale. They're obviously a high academic school, Ivy League school. Stanford's also a high academic school. When you look at some of these schools that prioritize academics and you know what you're able to get off the court with your career, academic wise, what kind of impact does that have? Is that something that you really do like too?
Yes, it's very important to me because schools like Yale, Stanford, Rice, Cal Poly, it's like great schools like that. They set you up for your entire future. So that's obviously going to play a key impact in my recruiting as well. So,
Have you began to kind of think about what you might like doing off the court someday?
um, I have a little bit. Um, I've kind of wanted to be like a politician a little bit, like the mayor or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, or like, yeah, that's really what I'm trying to do. So.
That's big time. And as you continue with this recruiting process, obviously it's going to still be a couple more years, but what would you say is going to be the biggest thing for a school to be able to make your top 8, top 10, whatever your list is someday? What will it take for those schools to make it?
Well, honestly, just I want them to have like a commitment to me. Like I want them to be excited about me and just like honestly like make me feel welcome there. Like make me like there's really no other choice but that school. That's what I'm really looking for.
And when you put together that, whatever list it is for this 8, 10, 11, 12, whatever you put that list is, obviously all those schools having high importance to you. They're going to be big time schools for you. How will you end up coming away with one school?
I don't know. It's going to be tough though, but well, we're going to save that battle for another day. So.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And you've been talking to some of these coaches now. When you talk to them, what's the kind of personality type that really attracts you, and what's the overall personality type that you really enjoy in a coach?
Um, Actually, I like all personality types and coaches. Like I like energetic coaches, like coaches that cheer you on, but I also like coaches that will be hard on you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, let's talk about obviously what you're wearing on right now. You're wearing West Coast Elite. I have a great relationship with Coach Ryan Silver and what they obviously do out there in the UAA circuit. Why'd you choose to go with West Coast Elite?
Um, well, I've been with West Coast Elite since the eighth grade year, and they've stuck by me. So just knowing their commitment to me has made me just want to stay there and just keep getting better and grow the program. So.
That's a program that obviously has a lot of teams. Coach Silver's obviously pushed that to all kinds of places now. But in terms of program, I think the two prime big time guys right now is obviously Nico and Josh. Two guys that's going to be drafted in the first round this year, even lottery possibly. You guys also have a guy like Nathan Biddle in the program, Marcellus Robinson, Ian Mahaney, you. I mean, the list goes on. What's it like being part of that?
I mean, it's really fun, honestly, knowing that like there's other guys here with me that are also are trying to go to where I'm trying to go with in like all these good schools. So it's honestly really fun.
And that's one thing a lot of guys we've seen start doing. A lot of teams have been starting to put together pretty much AU teams in college now. They've been putting together entire AU squads and putting them together. For you to talk to some of these guys that are in your class, is possibly someone like Aiden, is someone like Austin, someone you maybe talk to about possibly want to team up someday with?
I mean, I would of course want to team up with them, but yeah, because I've known them for like 4 or 5 years now, so going to school with them would be very fun. But yeah, so.
That's huge. How about other guys? Is there anyone else you maybe talk to from high school or just friends you know about that you think would be kind of fun playing with potentially with someday?
Um, I haven't really started having those conversations yet, but
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And let's talk about your high school season. Pretty solid year, obviously, 18-12 record. What would you take away? What's some of your biggest takeaways from the year?
um, Well, the biggest takeaway for me, probably myself, would be that I got to get used to people like scouting me. Like,
Mhm.
so like towards later in the year, teams knew what I wanted to do. So I got to work on like make sure I'm not predictable with anything and honestly just be the best player I can be. So
That is one thing that a lot of guys have kind of led now to possibly go into a prep school, play a national schedule. And I'm sure schools will begin to reach out to you. Is going to one of those big schools something that you kind of consider possibly wanting to do down the line?
yeah, it's I'm interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
yeah.
huge. And you really had one defining moment of the year. I mean, obviously, you had a lot of big time games, but one that shocked a lot of people was the Windward game, 30-point game against a team that many considered being an open division kind of caliber team. Johnny Wright, Dylan Andrews, Devin Tillis. What was it like going in that game, and what allowed you to break out in that game?
Uh, that game it was a special game. I was rolling early, so my coach let me. So coach just kept feeding me,
Mm-hmm.
and it just happened really. Yeah.
Was there anything different the way you prepared for the game that day, or did you just kind of hit you from the first play?
Oh well, no Windward. They have a few very high ranked guys. So that my motivation was honestly like I think I'm up there with them. I think I'm possibly better than them. I mean, they're great players. Don't get me wrong. Dylan Andrews, Johnny Wright, they're great players. But personally, I feel like I'm at least up there with them. So just that game, just my motivation, it just really fueled the fire in me, and it worked basically.
And those are guys, two guys that are obviously elite caliber guys in California and in your class alone. Who else would you say are some of the top players you've had to go up against in the past year?
Well, we played Sierra Canyon this year, so
Oh,
that's yeah, that's Bronny, Brandon Boston, Zaire Williams, and yeah, they're Amari Bailey. They're really good. So we played them this year, and it's probably the best team we played this year, of course.
And you had a year where you averaged 18 points a game, 8 rebounds. That's pretty solid numbers, but what do you want to build off that with? What do you think you're capable of doing next season?
Honestly, I think I'm able to just get better at really everything. Honestly, I really want to improve my leadership and my ability to take control of a game. And honestly, I don't want to be just a scorer. I want to work on my distributing as well. And yeah, I just want to become more consistent and more college ready.
And for you personally, you already talked about it. Your main goal is to make the NBA, whichever way that's going to take for you. A couple of options have come into play. Is obviously the G League route, and by your class, straight to the NBA will be available most likely. Or either one of those routes something that you would consider, or something that you find attractive?
Um, I'm definitely gonna consider them, but I want to go to college, so
Mm-hmm.
it's honestly gonna take a lot to pull me. So
Gotcha. And so when you talk about getting ready for the NBA, though, for you, obviously, everyone talks about until you think you're ready to go. What do you think it's going to take? What do you need to add to your game set? You know you'd be ready to play in the NBA.
um, I probably need to add. I probably need to become a better defender, and I need to work on my ball handling a little bit more, and just become 100% comfortable with ball handling. So
Mhm.
yeah, if I do that, I think I'll be ready.
What kind of player do you see yourself developing into? Is it, I mean, as a wing player, what kind of player would you say is the ideal kind of player you see yourself turning into?
I see myself as a scoring combo guard, like a Jimmy Butler kind of player, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker kind of player, like a player that can distribute, but their main job is really getting points on the board, and I think that would best fit my game. So
And you haven't played in the NBA yet, but you did play in the junior NBA before. And obviously, that's a huge moment for a lot of guys going into high school. What was it like playing that?
I mean, it was honestly crazy because you're playing in a nationally televised game. That was and like I personally did really well in the junior NBA, so it was really fun. Like I led the thing in scoring. I was like top 10 in rebounds, so it was honestly just really fun.
And a lot of time, a lot of people look at that, and obviously it's fun to watch a lot of middle schoolers playing. But we see now some of these rosters, these guys are starting to pan out. We see a lot of top guys from the Kansas State team. We see guys like Mark Mitchell, Grady Dick, all top 20 players. You obviously panning out to become what you're becoming. A lot of guys. I mean, what's it like looking back and seeing now how many guys in that roster are now becoming also high major players as well?
It's it's really crazy, honestly, because back then we were just kids. It was eighth grade year. We were going into high school, and now we have offers from everywhere. Basically, it's it's honestly crazy.
No doubt, man. And my last thing before I let you go is I know you're going to probably want to build yourself a legacy both on and off the court. So going a few years down the road when obviously that time does come to you step away from the game, what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, I want to be known as not just a great basketball player, but a great person, somebody who used their influence on the court, off the court as well. I want to be somebody who's like a leader in the whichever community I'm in. I want to be a college graduate and basically that.
That's awesome, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on, my guy. I look forward to seeing what God's got next for you, man.
Yeah, me too.
Man, talk to you later, bro. God bless.
All right, talk to you later.